Coming up on today's show, we're going to break down some of the Browns training camp notes and analysis and insight that came out of a really interesting article from ESPN where they sent some of their best and some of my favorite reporters they have to just a few different training camp locations and had them kind of sit down, talk with coaches, players, GMs, and write what they've seen after a week, somewhat from like a non-biased perspective, whereas sometimes a local beat reporter might try to be a little bit more on the optimistic side, half glass full, just to kind of get a good following and viewership around them. So, first thing I want to talk about is Ken Dorsey and him not calling plays, because that was something that Dan Graziano noticed and talked to Andrew Berry about, which is, hey, if Dorsey was brought in and he's not going to call plays, like, not what is he going to do, because an offensive coordinator that's not a play caller still has plenty on their plate, but also, what's he going to do? And here's what Berry said. As an OC, he's always had a top 10 offense. He really turned Josh Allen's career, and Cam Newton was an MVP under his tutelage. He's a really good quarterback guy, a really good pass game guy, and then just philosophically, we wanted to be better in the drop back game, the RPO game, and really kind of expand our use of motion in our core concepts, and also increase our tempo. Those are all areas where Ken has excelled everywhere he's been. So let's break some of those parts of the offense down that Andrew Berry talked about. I want to start off by acknowledging that Deshaun Watson practicing, and who remembers and who probably got tired of me preaching about this for so many months leading up to training camp, that it's so important for Watson to be here for the start of camp. This is why. Look at all the things Andrew Berry just listed. Not just one thing, but a lot of things that they want to see improvement, or more importantly, change. Not just improvement, but like philosophically changing up your scheme. You want your starting quarterback to be getting live reps during that change and not playing catch up when the regular season starts. But let's tackle it kind of bit by bit. Let's start with the RPO, run pass option. If you played NCAA, you know how hard that can be. Look at the Browns the last 2 years under Stefanski. And what I've got here is all the quarterbacks, not just Deshaun Watson, all the quarterbacks, the RPO completions and attempts. And look at the difference between the Browns and the Bills. I mean, the Bills last year, with Ken Dorsey serving as the OC for half the year, 70 RPO attempts. In 2022, 62. I mean, that's more than double than what the Browns did in 2022. So if the Browns plan on adding more RPO to their offense, Ken Dorsey is a great addition to help smooth out some of the bumps, because he's got plenty of experience doing that with Josh Allen in Buffalo. Now, when it comes to no huddle, this stat is a little bit misleading. The Browns last year ran a no huddle offense 6.1% of the time. That ranked 24th in the NFL. Do you want to take a guess at who was 32nd in the NFL in no huddle? The Kansas City Chiefs. So if the Chiefs don't do it, why would anyone do it? Well, the Chiefs don't need to do it, because the Chiefs don't find themselves trailing in the fourth quarter very often, needing to run a 2-minute drill, no huddle offense. So sometimes the no huddle can be a bigger indicator of, hey, which teams are trailing a lot and need to get a pep in their step and get a move on. But if you're looking for just some data point, the Browns are in the back of the pack of running a no huddle offense last year. So with all that being said, I'd prefer, and I know the Browns have not given a concrete answer one way or the other, for Deshaun Watson to play some in the preseason. I would prefer that his first live snap after going under shoulder surgery and not playing since the Ravens game last year, not to be against Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. I'd like to see Deshaun Watson kind of shake the rust off, but also kind of get back into a rhythm and get back to playing live football at some point in the preseason. Maybe it's just one series, but just to kind of get that feeling back and go like, okay, I know this. It's been a little while. It's been 10 months, and it's been, 6-7 months for pretty much everyone that didn't play in the Super Bowl. But for Watson, it's been a little bit longer. And then you add in how much football he missed before that injury. I think it's important just to get the guy in the field. Like, don't play this game of, we don't want him to get hurt. Like, he's got to play football for you. So I'd like to see him kind of shake the cobwebs in August and not September. So what is your confidence level in 2024 Deshaun Watson? Scale it 1 to 10 for me. For me, I'd put myself on the much more confident side. I'll put myself at a 7.3. Like, I think that Deshaun Watson's going to have the best year yet, which, I mean, the bar is not super high after 2 seasons, 7 touchdowns a pop, only played 6 games in each year. So I think we're going to see the best version of Watson yet in Cleveland, and I'm very confident in that too. Now, before we get to the rest of today's show, I do want to tell everyone about our awesome friends over at GameTime. If you want to catch a Guardians game, a Browns preseason game, or any other concerts in your area, you're going to want to give GameTime a shot. Now, GameTime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. Now, one thing I love about GameTime is they offer the GameTime guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Deshaun Watson specifically, as Dan Graziano also highlighted a really interesting part of what he observed during training camp. And here's what he wrote. Barry pointed out to me that the Browns threw the ball on 41% of their first downs in games started by Watson last season. But in games started by Joe Flacco, that number was 60%. Stefanski downplayed that, pointing out that one of Watson's games was a rainy outing against Cincinnati, and another one in which he left after 5 throws due to injury, the Colts game. So Stefanski does bring some really important context to that stat. But if the Browns are not exploring, but are planning on being more aggressive on first downs, because usually teams approach first downs, at least old-fashioned wise, as follows. Hey, run the ball on first down so that you get yourself in second and more manageable compared to 2nd and 10 if you find yourself with an incompleted pass. Then you feel obligated to throw on 2nd and 10. And if that's incomplete, now you're at 3rd and long. So before it was run, pass. Now you're starting to see teams go, you know what? If they're expecting run, let's pass. So let's compare the Browns the last 2 years with Stefanski as the play caller to Ken Dorsey in Buffalo. And look at the first down passing. Last year, Cleveland, 228 attempts, only completing 57% of their passes. Now, the Bills not far off from that. Now, this part's not completely on coaching, but look at the sizable jump in completion percentage, though. Not quite sure what Dorsey was dialing up, but clearly it was more successful than the Browns. And yes, having Josh Allen's a major factor in that, but I don't think 100% of that difference can be attributed to the quarterback. 2022, only 184 pass attempts on first down compared to Buffalo, with Dorsey being the OC the entire season, 243 attempts. So if the plan is to be more aggressive on first down, then Ken Dorsey is a great mind to have in the building to make sure they are successful when preparing for that all week long. Now, having said all this, what does that mean for Nick Chubb? Because if the previous plan was run on first down, run on second down, and pass on third down, then what's going to happen with Nick Chubb? Like, look at Nick Chubb's stats, first, second, third, and fourth down. Does anyone notice when he gets a lot of his touches? I mean, this is not just unique to Nick Chubb, but 764 carries on first down. Look at the drop-off to second down. It's not even close. 401 carries. I was surprised to see how few carries in his entire NFL career. Just 60 carries on third down. Nick Chubb has played a lot of games. Now, in Nick Chubb's career, he averages 16.1 carries per game. So, if on average, he's getting 16 carries a game, and a good chunk of those carries come on first down, and the Browns are now planning on being a much more air-happy offense on first down, where does Nick Chubb get his touches? The answer is partially we'll have to wait and see. But my guess is Nick Chubb is not going to see a sizable drop in usage. I don't think he's going to average 16 carries a game this season. But I think the Browns' plan for Nick Chubb is, hey, you're just going to get a lot more of the touches than you did before. And there's not going to be much of a split or rotation with the other backs. So you'll still get over 10 carries a game. And we'll still work you in on first downs because we're not passing 100% of the time. But if we pass the ball on first down 15, 20% more than we did last year, that 15, 20% is coming out of your touches, which is probably where you see Nick Chubb go from 16 carries down to like 12 to 13 carries. And that might not seem like a big jump for just one game, but multiply that over 17, that's a lot of touches. Now, before we wrap up today's video, if you enjoyed our episode today, before you leave, reminder to go ahead and like the video. It really does help grow the channel. If the channel gets a lot of likes, YouTube sees that, and they're like, wow, this is a really fun channel. Let's show it to more Browns fans. And then we get more eyeballs, more subscribers, more studio space, more content. And to think, it all starts with a simple like. Trizzy Trace, which card do you want to go with?
Give me the 7 of hearts.
7 of hearts?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with the Queen of clubs. I'm feeling good about this one, too.
I kind of like yours.
Dude, you want to switch?
No, I'm not gonna fade. I'm not gonna back down here.
No, 2 of clubs. So I was kind of not right, but at least in the right galaxy. All right, that will do it for us on today's show. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and we'll see everyone next time.